Minority Report. Thank you. We're going to do some Minority Report. Welcome, everybody. This is Fabric / Power BI Lunch and Learn. It's Friday. Get your lunch out. We're doing real time today. I love real time. We're going to be doing some Minority Report. We should get our HoloLenses out and do some advanced analytics. All right, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing a tutorial based on our favorite streaming data set, New York Yellow Taxi trip data. Dataset's got, well, you've seen the data set because we've used it last week as well. It's got all the trips in New York of all the yellow taxis. It's got the pick up and drop off dates and all that kind of stuff. We're going to stream that data. So we're streaming data, and I want to talk of, I need some, hopefully there's some gurus in the thing to tell me more about how the streaming data piece works, especially how the event streams pick up. And oh no, I got lots of questions. So hopefully they'll answer these questions during the course of this tutorial. We're going to be doing streaming and querying. We're going to be using event streams. We're going to use this new language, well, it's new to me, called KQL, Custo Query Language. We're going to create a Custo KQL database, a Custo Query Language database. Is Custo like SAQL, Stream Analytics Query Language? I feel like it's going to be similar. That's what I'm guessing. So in Stream Analytics, which is an Azure service that I've used in the past, which I was just saying earlier to everybody, I mucked around with Stream Analytics in the early days of Power BI, and they have their own kind of special language, which is SAQL, SAQL, Stream Analytics Query Language. And I'm assuming that Custo is similar to that, but I guess I'll find out. Okay, our data doesn't contain Latin long data, which will be loaded from the blob container and joined to the stream later in a later step. Interesting. So we're going to take some real-time data, and that's not going to have all the information we need. And we're going to join in some Latin long data so that we know where things are, and then it's all going to come together into a big blob of cool stuff. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a KQL database. We're going to copy that into one lake or something. We're going to create this thing called an event stream. We're going to stream the data from the event stream into the database. We're going to bring in some other historical data. Then we're going to do some data exploration using KQL and SQL. Do people call this KQL? 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 I feel like KQL works. Create a KQL data set, use advanced KQL queries, and create a Power BI report. We all love Power BI reports. And then you delete the workspace. That's what you do at the end. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to log into my Power BI environment over here, and then I'm going to bring it back when we get to the right spot. Cackle. I like cackle. Cackle. Yeah. Interesting. All right. I'm going to create a whole new workspace. And I'm going to call my new workspace whatever it tells me to call it in this next thing. Browse to a workspace in which you wish to create your database. Okay, so they don't create a workspace in this. I'm going to call this KQL workspace. It's a now you can't see this because I've got it on my other thing. Okay, should be okay to show this. All right. I'm creating a workspace. It's a KQL workspace. It's called KQL workspace. And I'm going to put the license mode to trial, which is there's 59 days left on my Fabric trial. Hey, my Fabric trial got renewed. That's interesting. Looks like they're not releasing it yet. Hooray. Okay, so I've got a whole brand new workspace. Here it is. I'm going to move this tutorial over here so that I can read it simultaneously. I'm going to move everybody so I can see the chat here. It's stuck at 59. Is it really stuck at 59? It might be. Maybe it's always got 59 days left until they start counting it down.
Well, it was counting down for a while, and then they've obviously reset it. My conspiracy theory is not enough people have tried it yet, so they're
it could be that.
Extending it.
I seem to remember though with premium, you could do a premium trial and then it would you could redo the premium trial a few times over, and then finally they'd go, you've used premium enough now. It's 59 days isn't enough. I think that's probably the case too, is that people need a little bit of time to evaluate these types of things. And we know with Microsoft trials, it's all a bit you know, up in the air. I'm sure one day I'll get a giant bill for all of these Microsoft Fabric workspaces I've created, but I'm going to start deleting them all soon because I'm getting ready. I'm ready for the release. I don't know when the release is going to be. I don't have any insider knowledge on that, sorry, but yeah, it's hopefully soonish. But I'm happy to play with it in trial in the meantime. The trial's quite powerful because you get like a, I don't know if it's like an F16 or F24 capability. Like the trial's on pretty grunty, so that's pretty cool stuff. All right, so in the bottom left-hand thing, what am I doing here? I'm in a workspace. In the bottom left-hand experience, select, okay, this is the experience switcher. This is something I didn't know about for a long time. You got to select real-time analytics. Here we go. So now we're in real-time world. That's cool. Okay, KQL database, KQL query set, and event stream. This is the one I have I've got all the questions about. All right. We're going to say new KQL database. Go. We're going to call it NYC Taxi DB. Just like that. Create. Okay, when provisioning is complete, the KQL database details page will be shown. They want us to be habituated to the highest premium. Exactly. You'll get used to it being really fast and cool. And then you'll be like, no, let's spend the money. It's worth it. All right, it's obviously provisioning. I get myself a new database. So what's the technical difference between a KQL database and an SQL database? I guess is KQL like a different, I guess it's a different architecture underneath. Is it like a NoSQL style database? I want to know. I've got questions. We should look it up. Maybe we will. If no one knows the answer, put it in the chat if you know the answer to any of my weird questions. Or ask ChatGPT. And then put that in the chat. That always works too. We love that. All right. We're going to set it to active. Oh, we hit this little button. This little pencil down here. Select data availability in OneLake. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're making this available in OneLake. So let me see if I can show you what this means. So if I look at my OneLake, here is my OneLake. You will see I've got Lakehouse demo and Warehouse demo and Data Science demo. These are the ones that we used in the previous sessions. Really should have called this realtime_demo now that I look at my naming convention, but I didn't. I called it something else, but that's okay. So I think what it's going to do is enable it in here when I look in OneLake. So let's see what happens. Okay, so active. Oh, did that work? Okay, set it to active and hit done. And then here in my OneLake, if I refresh, is it gonna? I don't know if that's going to appear immediately or if it's going to take a little while. All right, well, let's see. Let's keep an eye on that. Okay, so we're going to get some data with an event stream now. The first thing we need to do is create an event stream. So I'll go back to my real-time analytics page. I've got this button, capture, transform, and route real-time event stream to various destinations in the desired format with no code experience. That's me, no code experience. Okay. My current workspace is the KQL workspace. Okay. Go. Give it a name. The event stream name is going to be called the NY Taxi Trips event stream. Just like that. Hit create. Provisioning. So now we're creating an event stream. So we've created a database and we're creating an event stream. And the event stream, I assume, is something that gets data from one place and puts it in another place. All right, thank you. Is that you, Michael, that put it in? Yep. All right. Hey, ChatGPT tells us, suppose you have is this an explain like I'm 5 scenario? I reckon it is. All right, suppose you have a box of different Lego blocks. Now you want to find a specific type of block, say a red 2x2 block. How would you do it? You'll probably sift through all the blocks, looking for the blocks that are both red and 2x2. That's what SQL does. It's used to query or ask questions of the database. Yes. Now you have instead imagine instead you have neatly organized box of Lego blocks and you have a huge pile of different toys, blocks, action figures, toys, stuff, animals and stuff, and it's a mess and everything's mixed together. How would you find a red 2x2 block? It's a bit more complicated, right? You have to sift through the pile, not just looking for Legos, but ignoring all the other toys that aren't Legos. And that's what KQL does. It's used with databases that are more like that messy pile of toys. Databases have lots of different types of data mixed in, like blob storage, I guess, right? You got lots of different stuff. Not just neatly organized tables. They have logs and files and other kinds of data. You ask KQL questions like, show me the data that has a piece that looks like a red 2x2 Lego block. And KQL is all about finding specific pieces of data in a big mixed up pile of data. There you go. So KQL is the thing that's really good at searching big mixed up piles of data. Okay, I'm on board with that. Thank you, Michael and ChatGPT. Best friends forever. Okay, we have an event stream. I'm going to select, so you have a source and a destination here in your event stream. We're going to select the source and then it's going to stream that source and then it's going to put it in the destination. So we're going to say a new source, sample data. Okay, we just select sample data. The sample data is the yellow taxi sample. Oh, so that's what it is. It's literally just like it's a sample data that you can use. This is my first question, it's like, how's it getting these sample data? What are the other options? Oh, you could have a stock market sample as well. So if you want to play around with this, you can say sample data and then it'll just stream either yellow taxi or stock market data into your thing. And so I guess what it's doing is acting like, what is it doing? It's pretending like those taxi trips are actually happening and that data is being fed through like an event hub or something, and it's being dumped into your data source for you as a stream. Okay. Okay, so so I'm just going to add this source, but I want to know what are the other sources I can actually do. Okay, so I can pull it from an event hub or from a custom app. Okay, what does custom app mean? Enter a source name. That's confusing. We need to find out what a custom app is as a source. An Azure Event Hub, I understand because I've done Azure. So an Azure Event Hub, if you're doing real-time streaming data, that's how you stream data in. So if you've got like a fridge and it's got an IoT thing in it and you want to stream the data out of that fridge to tell you what temperature the fridge is or whatever, then you use the Azure Event Hubs to send those temperature events to the Event Hub in JSON, and then it's the thing that can pipe it into the rest of the Azure services like Stream Analytics or whatever. So that's what I used when I made that Arduino like solution. That was the edge point. So the place, the first point of call where my fridge or my Arduino called the Event Hub and it piped all of its data into that. So this is true real time, like it's going to be streaming that data that way. But we're just using sample data. Okay. Okay, so we've got a sample data streaming in, and then we've got to put it in a destination. I'm going to get rid of this, discard this. We don't do this. Okay. A destination is going to be our KQL database, or we can throw it in the lakehouse as well. That's cool. Or a custom app. Don't know what that means, but we'll figure it out. Okay. People have got new things. My house needs KQL. That's funny. Maybe it's a function app. Yeah, it could be a function app, James. I agree. Okay, destination name. Okay, so we're going to put in our destination name. It's going to be New York taxi database. Oh, wait. Isn't that the name of the database? Oh, yeah, hopefully that's right. The workspace in which I created the database, which was called KQL workspace. And the database is the New York City DB. Okay, cool. So I'm piping this event data in. It's creating it. This is confusing me because it's called the destination a database, but then I had to select a database. Is this more like a table? I think maybe this is like a table. Anyway, I'm just going to hit go because that's what it says to do. Add and configure. Okay, we're ingesting our data. Now it's asking me to create a table. Okay. New table is going to be called New York taxi trips. There it is. Happy with that. Next. We're going to select our connection name, which is this connection we created. Everything in this here looks good. Hit schema. Okay, so we've got to do our schema mapping. It's loading a preview. Data format can be changed to different. Okay, so now it's going, all right, it's figured out the preview. It's loaded 50 events from my stream. So this is coming in from the stream. You could discard and fetch more data. That's cool. Or that's okay. I guess if you're not happy or if it's doing something weird, you could get it to discard. That makes sense. It's JSON format, so I'm going to select JSON here. It's given me some things. Ignore data format errors. Only supported in JSON lines. Okay. Or is that not recommended? Supports only JSON lines. Okay, yeah. Include events with the selected format. Include events without formats. Okay, so you could get it. There's a little bit of extra. And then you've got some nesting options here for JSON as well, it looks like. But they say to leave it all default. But that's good because sometimes you have nested this is one of the problems that we used to have with like stream analytics and stuff, is that you have like nested JSON and you're trying to get to the right level and stuff. So it's good that you've got this concept of nested levels. Expand levels of nested data into extra columns. So you can get it to flatten your JSON as it's coming through. So I think that's actually really important. Okay, flattening JSON. We've got some data. You've seen this kind of data before. It's just the TPET pickup date time and drop off time and all that kind of stuff. It's streaming in, which is cool. I think we just hit next, do we? We don't have to. We select JSON. Do we just select our data types here, or we do that in the next thing? Oh, we do it here. Okay, we might need to change the data types. Verify that is all of them have the correct data type. Okay, so vendor ID is an int. So it brought it in as a long. Okay, passenger count is long. Change data type long. Trip distance is a real. PU pickup location ID. Why are these not in the same order as what they've given it to me here? Okay, PU location ID is a long. Yep. DO location ID is a long. Yep. Payment type is a real. Payment type is a real. Change type. Fair amount is real. Extra is real. MTA tax is real. Tip amount is real. Toll amount is real. Improvement surcharge is real. Total amount is real. Get all the data types. All of these are real. They're all real. Okay, that real. Good. Date time, int. Okay, we're all good. Select next summary. Bang. Okay, and then it does it. Creates a new table. It has the correct data types. I assume if you get the data types wrong, it's going to cause some kind of data type issue, just like everything in data engineering. In our continuous ingestion from the event stream established window, all steps are marked with a green check. This is the checks happening here, and marked when the data connection is successfully created. The data from the event stream can begin streaming automatically into your table. So as soon as it's done, it starts. That's cool. You might need to refresh your page in your table to set after the event stream connection has been established. Okay, so we go back here. I guess we have a look at the database and see. Here's our database. Refresh. Today, this minute. New York City trips. Row count 0. It's going to work or not? Well, I guess we just keep going and assume that it's working. Check our notifications. Database was saved, successfully added, the policy was updated. All right. All right. Let's check the next thing. So now what we need to do, we've got this data streaming in. Hopefully it's working. Well, that's string okay. Stored in forward flag. Yeah, okay. We've got the data streaming in. Now we need to also load in some historical data for adding dimension tables. Okay, so this data that we've got doesn't have our Latin long in it. So there's no Latin long in our trip table. So we need to bring in some other stuff. Okay, so in our KQL database, here's our KQL database. We're going to get some data. We're going to say blob container. That's interesting. Let's have a look at those sources. You can use sample data, a local file. You can pull it from OneLake. You can use blobs, or you can use Amazon S3. That's cool. Or you can stream it in from a pipeline or a data flow or an event hub. Okay, there you go. So you could pull it in from a data flow. That's nice to know. Oh, notice it has got stuff coming through now, 7,400 rows. So it is working. That's cool. Okay, blob container. Destination is going to be a new table, and the new table is going to be called locations. Next. In this one, we're going to do a one-time ingest of our thing from our blob container, and we have to put in our storage, our link to our source. Where's our source value? Here's the source. Okay. One time, copy link. Storage URL is this. This is that Synapse storage blob that Microsoft provides us with all these sample data in it. There's links to it on the GitHub. You can get to it from the thing. Okay, we leave our sample size as blank. We leave our folder path as blank. And we leave our file extension as blank. We leave everything else blank, I think. Yeah. Schema to define file, we leave as blank. Choose the first file. So they've already ticked the first file here. Okay. Cool. Next. Okay, the schema tab. So this tab automatically infers the schema based on our data, so no changes are necessary. So it says it's uncompressed CSV. It's ignoring the first record because I guess that's your title, and it's locations underscore mapping, and so it just works. Okay, and then it brings that historical data in, gives us a summary. One total blobs coming in. Data's preview. Here's a preview of our data with all of our locations with our lats and longs. And we hit close to return to our database. And now we've got a table full of locations as well as a table full of trips. Lovely. All right. Things are going smoothly. But similar to Power BI service streaming data, you set up an API endpoint and push your JSON packets at it. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about that custom connector, whether it was with some kind of endpoint that we could just throw JSON at, like a Power BI data set, streaming data set. Okay, the first step in analysis is to look at the subset of the data itself, according to this tutorial. And so we're going to be using Custo query language. It's a read-only request to process data and return results. The request is stated in plain text using a data flow model that's easy to read, author, and automate. Queries always run in the context of a particular data table or database. At a minimum, the query consists of a source data referring to one or more query operators applied in sequence, indicated visually by the use of a pipe character. Oh, I love it when people use pipe characters, my favorite key on the keyboard, to delimit operators. For more information on the Custo query language, here's a link. I'm going to copy the link. I'll pop it in the chat. Big compression. I'm not surprised to see large compression ratios because they're pretty good at compression in this little world of Power BI and stuff. So, all right. The query editor has syntax like IntelliSense. All right, so we go here to New York taxi trips. I guess we click here. We say query table, and then we have a selection of things we could do. And it says show any 100 records. Okay. So it goes and figures out how many Lego blocks are red, and then it comes and gives me 100. Oh, look at this language. Oh, what the heck? All right. Use take to view a sample number of records in the language and check the data. Take 100. See how many records are in the table. Count. Pipe count. Okay. Pipe summarize ingestion count equals count by bin ingestion time 1 hour. This looks like, is this like PowerShell with the pipes? So it says New York taxi trips pipe take 100. My favorite character, the pipe. Only the pipe is similar, says James. James knows everything about PowerShell. Well, he doesn't know, maybe not everything, but he knows a lot about PowerShell. So he's saying, no, this is not. But this is like, because PowerShell took it from Bash, right? Where you pipe, you run one command and then you pipe the output of that command into a new command. That's how we used to do it in the old Linux and Unix days, right? So you run a hey, pipe the output of this and then pipe it into a text editor or whatever, and it'll pipe it in. Anyway, I wonder if that's a similar kind of idea. Probably seems like it's kind of is. All right. So we ran some, sorry, I'm getting so distracted by the pipe. All right, we ran this thing, it sorted out our Legos. Return the data. Okay, hang on a second. Let me just read some stuff. The auto-populated sample queries sample queries are automatically run. You can see the query results in the results pane. Here's a results pane. Okay, good. So it said take 100. Why is it take? It's not select. It's not. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. We take 100 records, return to the data tree and paste the next query, which uses the where operator and between operator. I'm happy with where and between. I can get around where and between. Okay. Do we have the actual queries that I can copy and paste here, or what's happening? Or are the queries somewhere in the Git that I have to go and find? Hang on a sec. Oh, is this record suggested in the last 100 hours? Is that what we're doing? Yes. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that was that. And then I can go back here and I go query table, and then I'm going to run the next one. Records ingested in the last 24 hours. Show me. So this says from New York taxi trips, pipe where ingestion time, which is a function, is between now, which is a function, and now. Now minus 1 day and now. Oh, you have to learn a whole new syntax. Oh my goodness. Does ChatGPT know KQL? I hope so, because that's what I'm going to be using. All right.
Yeah,
okay,
it
that's
does.
cool.
I
does.
put a link chat in the chat.
Did you? Nice. Okay, interesting. It's good at KQL. Yes. Awesome. If they used select, it would have felt like SQL. I agree. But I guess, but they've got where, and then they've got between. Okay. Oh, we'll get used to it. We'll get used to it. All right. That's where in between. So that's everything in the last 24 hours that's been ingested, which is everything. 51,000 records it's up to. So it's continuously streaming data in, remember? So we're getting more records each time. Or the next query of the sample queries is a get schema operator. So let's do that one. Query, get table schema. All right, that's literally, looks pretty easy. Put your table, put the pipe, then you just got to know the functions. Here's our schema. We know the schema, so that's cool. Right, next query is a summarize operator when the last record was ingested. Okay, let's have a look at that one. These are useful sample queries. Get the last ingestion time. Last ingestion time was the 14th of the 7th, 2023 at 2:34 p.m., which is probably like UTC, right? 2:34 a.m. Yeah, so like 10 hours ago because I'm in Melbourne. All right, that makes sense. So I can get last ingestion time. The next query in the list of sample queries uses a count operator to tell me the number of records in the table. So my expectation, this is going to be like getting larger every time. So let's try it. So if I go query table and then give me total count of records. So right now there's 64,200. Let's wait a beat. And then do it again. $65,500. Man, we're getting a lot of records quickly. I have to remember to turn this off. Okay. Okay. So this is it's pumping data in. I like it. I like it. This is working. Okay, the final query in the list of sample query uses the summarize operator, count operator, and bin function to return the number of ingestions per hour. Okay, so now we use the total ingestions per hour. So this gives me an idea of how fast per hour. I'm doing 68,000 an hour because I've only done it for 5 minutes. But if you ran this over a period of multiple hours, then this would have for each hour how many ingestions were coming in. And you can actually see this is what it looks like if you run it over multiple hours. You can see you get multiple 353,000 records per hour. It's going to pipe in. It's kind of cool. All right, I'm just rearranging my windows again. Okay. Well, that was some Custo query language. So but we can also run SQL against it. Right? So I can go use SQL, show any 100 records, and here's good old familiar SQL, select top 100 star from New York taxi trips.
I wonder if that has the same query limits as the KQL query stuff as well. I assume it does, but is it using the warehouse now, so it doesn't? I don't know.
I have no idea. That's a good question. That's a good question. I assume it would be limited in the same way. You can save it as a KQL query set. Okay. But it's not this notebook style, right? It's like SQL style where you just got a big set of lines. AK.ms SQL cheat sheet. Hey, look, they've got cheat sheets. Here's some. I'm going to copy these and paste them in the chat so you can check them out. All right. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Okay. Oops. Place your cursor somewhere within the query, select run or press shift enter. This is the new. So can we do another one? Show the total count of records. What's it up to? 80,000 now. So you select and you go shift enter and it runs it again. Yep. 80,900. How quickly is it coming in? 81,200, 81,400, 81,500, 81,600. There you go. It's doing 100 at a time. Okay. Total count. Oh, you already did the total count of records. All right. Now we're going to do some advanced KQL. I'm stuck. I'm gonna call it KQL. No one can stop me. I'm creating a trend. All right. Browse your KQL database. Yes, so I'm back on my KQL database. All right, new KQL query set. Okay, so we have to create a new KQL query set. Maybe I can't just call it KQL. Select new item. Wait, query table? No, is it here? Here we go. New related item. KQL query set. Okay, that's what we do. KQL query set. Give it a name. Name is going to be New York taxi query set. NYC taxi QS. That's what they use. Okay. Oh, so does it automatically always populate these sample ones at the top? I guess it does. Select create the key. Yes, with several auto-populated sample queries, it does. Okay. Okay, we're going to query some data. Give us the top 10 pickup locations in New York for the yellow taxis. So that's this. From New York taxi trips, we're going to summarize the count equals count by pickup location ID. And then we pipe that into a top 10 by count. So it's like you pipe and then you pipe. That's so weird. Can I shift enter? Yes, I can. Okay, so you can just select it and shift enter and it'll run. So pickup location and then how many have been picked up at that location. Got it. The query adds a step to the previous query by the new query. So we're going to do a new query, which adds a step to the previous query by looking up the corresponding zones of the top 10 pickup locations using the location table. So this sucks because it's a number and we don't know where that actually means. So now we're going to look up the appropriate place from the location dimension. So I'll just replace this with this. I'm going to select it all, Shift, Enter. Zzz. Oh, look at that, I got a graph. That's cool. Oh, render by column chart, that's why. I did it in 0.4 of a second. Here's the location, the Upper East Side, north. 4,000 being picked up there, Midtown, 4,000, and then here they are. So the Upper East Side is where all the taxis are coming in. All right. KQL also provides machine learning functions to detect anomalies. Oh, what? Let's check anomalies in the tips given by the, look for anomalous tips in the tips given by customers in Manhattan Borough. So Manhattan, is Manhattan here somewhere? This query uses the series decompose anomalies function. So you've just literally got machine learning functions you can run and they just are going to work. Is this what you're telling me? Is this what you're telling me? Tutorial. Oh,
well, they used to have that for Power BI streaming data sets as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, I guess. Okay. All right, hang on. Let's have a look at the code before we run it. So it says look up locations on a left. Oh, this is interesting syntax too. A left dot pu location ID is equal to the right dot location ID. Left and right. Ugh, I'm not sure I like that. Anyway, where borough is equal to Manhattan, and then make series S1 is the average tip amount. So you're looking at the tip amounts between these dates on step 1H, step by an hour, I guess. I'm not sure what that means. Extend anomalies, use this series decompose anomalies, and then rend an anomaly chart with the anomalies. Okay. What is this going to look like? Shift, enter. An anomaly. This person tipped too much or something. My graph looks different to their graph, but I assume that's because I've only got stuff happening in the last hour or whatever. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm not sure I fully understand it. Hover over the red dots for the anomaly. Okay, yeah, so that's the anomalous value because it's got a red dot around it. I don't know if you can see that very well. Can I zoom in? Not really. Oh, let me use my zoom tool. Zoom it. Well, that's not the zoom tool. Why can I never remember my zoom thing? It is Control 1. Oh, because I'm using a different computer. That's why. Okay. So see, it's got a very faint red, not the giant red box I just put, but there's a very faint red dot around it. When it's not on there now because I've clicked on it. Yeah, you might be able to see it. See, there's a little red halo around it that says it's an anomaly. Okay, so that's what an anomaly chart does. All right, so here's some more Custo. These are some more cool machine learning. So we're going to use series decompose now to ensure that the sufficient taxis are working in Manhattan and forecast the number of taxis needed per hour. So it's going to do a series decompose forecast. Oh, it's like literally going to forecast. Okay. Do it. Shift enter. Here's our forecast. Not particularly, probably not enough data to forecast properly. It's my guess. Because it's kind of cooked the forecast. Here's what it looks like in the tutorial. I think you have to run it for longer. See, the anomalies looks better too, but this is what it looks like in the tutorial. It's like, hey, this is what we're forecasting and this is what we actually got. So I guess the blue is the forecast. So this is interesting here because it's like it forecast up here because that makes sense because look at all these ones, but then it actually only went to there. So you can do forecast versus actual. I quite like that. That's quite a good way of predicting not predicting, of visualizing your forecast. It's like an overlay. Can I even do that in Power BI? Can you overlay two things on top of each other like that? You couldn't overlay two bars like that on top of each other, could you? It's like a multi-layer situation. You probably have to use Deneb to make that happen. Does anyone
That's
have
pretty cool.
It's cool. I like it. Yeah. I want it. Okay. So there you go. That is the right. Okay. So now what we want to do. So my forecast doesn't look anywhere near as cool as that. Okay. We're going to build a Power BI report based on our KQL queries. So first we're going to create a KQL query set that's going to be used as a data set for building our report. Oh, wow. Are you serious? Okay, so what you do is I'll put this query in, and this is going to be my query. And then I'll just shift enter it and see if it'll run. Okay, there it runs. Place your cursor somewhere within the query, and then click Build Power BI Report. The Power BI Report editor opens with a query result available as a data resource named Custo Query Result. Really? That query result that I just ran. And it knows that from where I placed the cursor. Man, that feels like a recipe for disaster. Okay. So here's our burrow, count, lat, long, and zone. Is that what we had in the, I want to do this again. Burrow, zone, lat, long, and count. We did. Okay. So yeah, so if I wanted to use that one, I'd put the clear here and click that. But I want to use this one, I click it here and then I click that. That's weird. Okay. I'm going to make a map. This is the easy bit now. You guys all know how to do this, but anyway, it's all good. All right, let's make a map. Map. This is our query result. Burrow is going to legend. Count is going to bubble size. Down here. Oh, could I get it in? I did. Lat goes to lat, long goes to long. Lat to lat, long to long. And zone doesn't get one. Don't summarize. Set the aggregate. Oh, why is it giving me an average? Ugh. Okay. Don't summarize, don't summarize. Ta-da! Look at this. Our finest of maps. Power BI, why is it so small? Why can't I get, what fit to, why is this in a light box? This should be full screen, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it be full screen? I feel like it should be full screen. It's in a light box. Okay, anyway. I'm picking nits. I'm going to add that to my list of feedback for Microsoft. Power BI data set or report builder from KQL in Lightbox. Question mark? I don't know why you would make it so small. Anyway, okay. I guess if you had a giant computer, it would be okay, but no one does. Oh, we're going to add a new visualization. It's going to be our, oops, I zoomed out. Let's get this. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, geez. Oh, God. My zoom. See, this is horrible. All right, I'll put that there. That rezoomed. That's nice. Sum of count by burrow in a bar chart. No, not that one. Create a new bar chart, okay? And the bar chart's going to be the sum of the count by burrow. So I guess y-axis is going to be burrow and x-axis is going to be count. Okay, now when we click on Manhattan, it's going to zoom. And then this is going to zoom to unknown. And this is going to zoom to Queens. It's going to zoom to Brooklyn, EWR, the Bronx. Cool. Okay, that's working. That's it. It says save your Power BI report. Open in Power BI and view and edit to get a shareable link. Change the refresh. Oh, we could, no, we want to set it to real-time refresh. Yeah, we want this. Okay. So we've got our report. We have to save it first. I think we do. Okay, I'm going to save it. File, save this report. Is that all I do? Yep. And we call this New York. It's got a long name. New York Taxi Maps Report, it's called. And we save it not to my workspace. Let's save it to that one that I just created. What's it called? K for KQL workspace. Continue. You know what I want is I want my count. I should, okay, my report saved. Thank you. Close that. Can I go back just to my workspace? Where's my maps report? Oh, there it is. Okay. Here's the report. Report's working. That's great. I'm going to edit my report. I'm going to put a count in. They don't tell us to do this in the tutorial, but I want to see the number like going up. So I'm going to put the count in up here. Okay, we've got 9,903, 9,093. Okay, so now we go to visualization. Hit our page refresh settings down here. So this is your auto page refresh settings. For those of you that don't know, or you have never done, if you've never done direct query, real time, or any kind of real time report in Power BI, you can set to automatically refresh. If you've got direct query or you've got a real time data set, you can set page refresh on here. And then we say every 10 seconds. Seconds. Okay, that's on. And now we say save, I guess. This report has been saved. Now, if we put in reading view, theoretically, it's just gonna, is it gonna just work if I wait 10 seconds? Or do I need to pin it to a dashboard or something to make it work? I want it to just
page
work.
auto refresh should just work there.
Should just work, right? I'm in read mode.
Okay.
Okay, I just refreshed up. I refreshed up here though. But let me give it a sec. Maybe it's gonna work anyway. The refresh interval can only be greater or equal to the admin interval. That is true that I might have an admin interval of longer than
I think
10
the
seconds.
default is 30 seconds.
Yeah.
In your admin settings. Let's
have a quick look. Man, they've changed this and now I don't know how to navigate it. Admin portal's here. Okay. Is there any refresh?
It's under the tenant settings.
Is it? No. Awesome. Thank you.
I think if you search auto, it should, yeah.
Automatically.
Oh,
No.
Maybe
okay,
I'm
let's search refresh.
making a liar of you.
I would have thought it'd be here somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Maybe it is in. Maybe it's in the capacity settings. I can't remember where I found it now.
So when I click refresh, it works. If I'm just constantly refreshing this page, the count's going up, right? So that's working. Maybe I didn't save it. Hang on, let me check. Page refresh is on. Automatically show details. Admin intervals 5 minutes.
There you go.
There you go. So at least you can see from there. So this, because my admin interval is shorter than so I could set this to 10 seconds in my admin pages and then it would work. So that's interesting.
Yeah, you can set it as low as 1 second, actually. You can have it just
Yeah, you
constantly
can have it
going.
just constantly refreshing, right? Yeah, which is kind of cool. So there you go. I think that's it. I think that's literally the whole thing. It is clean up your resources. That's like delete the data set. So what we've done, let's quickly recap. We went to our SQL. Yeah, I want to save. We created this KQL database, which is a place for us to store our data. We then created this event stream. So, okay. So what we're going to do next week is I'm going to come up with some kind of stuff to stream in that isn't sample data. I think we have to do it with real data because that'll uncover all of the complications of dealing with the event hub and probably get the JSON structure wrong. You know, like there's all sorts of things that can go wrong with this. So it's given us an event hub, but it's their event hub. That's interesting though. So we've got okay, so we're gonna stream some data which comes in from the event hub, comes in, gets stored in our KQL database. Then our KQL queries, that obviously works like pretty seamlessly. I didn't have any trouble understanding what KQL was doing there. So it's good that KQL is pretty readable. So that created the KQL query set. So this is our query. Like, I don't know, it's not, I guess it's like a view, but not really. But you could just use this query set and then just like click on it and say go, and it creates a Power BI report from that query set. It's so cool. And then it's so fast. And then we created our report. And then if we refresh our report manually, the numbers go up. We're up to 10K. Oh no, it's summarizing now. I won't be able to see. I've got to set hang on, let me edit. Value display units, thousands. No, none. There we go. Also, just for my own sanity, can we set oh man, why are these all summarized? I don't know if I can. No, I don't know how to use Power BI in the cloud. Not good enough. All right. I wanted to put the little comma in, but for some reason, I don't know where it is. Isn't it? Shouldn't it be like here in the ribbon? But the ribbon's doesn't show me all the options. It's creating text boxes. I'm trying to drill through. Okay, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Got to figure out how to do that. Cool. Hey, I wonder if can I build a KQL result set thing in Power BI Desktop? Or is this now a cloud only thing? Can Power BI Desktop connect to this? A KQL result set?
Considering that Direct Lake stuff is also only available in the cloud, I would say that KQL is probably as well.
This is all cloud only. Mate, I'm going to have to start building all my reports in the cloud. If you were going to be a Fabric guru, you're going to be using the cloud version of Power BI way more.
Yeah, you can't download
desktop.
the PBIX either, as Richard said in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
Wait, what happens if I try? Let's have a look at it.
Color me surprised.
What's it going to say? What's it going to use as a... what if you set the time interval between the data in the visualization move faster? Yes. Let's download the Phoenix file. All right, we're opening the Phoenix file, everybody. What do you think is going to be the data set's going to be? Is it going to work? Is it going to fail? Is it going to say this is only available in the cloud? It's got an Azure Data Explorer Custo connection.
There you go. I was wrong.
It uses Azure Data Explorer. I really want to see what the Power Query looks like. Introducing Azure Maps. Cool. But this is, here we go. This is what I wanted. I wanted to put my comma in. I also wanted to set this to have no, oh, hit the wrong button. Okay, none. So is this page refresh going to work every 10 seconds now? Because yes, it is. The page refresh works. That's about 10 seconds. Update. About now. There it is. Oh, that's exciting. Oh man, there's a really loud sound happening. Muted. All right. That's cool. So this is what it'll look like if you had your 10-second interval set up. Because I'm on desktop, it'll just follow whatever interval I say. Oh, and the dots are appearing. I love this. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, and now let's have a look at the Power Query. That's what we really care about. What does the Power Query look like? Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's just literally an Azure Data Explorer content. Oh, okay. Zoom in.
Put the query in text.
The query is in text. Yeah. So it connects to this. This is obviously custo.fabric.microsoft.com. Connect to this database. Here's the query in text. And hit go, and away you go. And as long as you're authenticated, it works. So if you knew this or this value for your Custo databases, then yes, you can create stuff in Power BI Desktop. Oh man, that's awesome. And not even hard. This doesn't even look hard. Hang on. What does it ask me if I put in Azure Data Explorer? There it is, Custo. Connect. Give me the cluster, give me the database. So the cluster, this is the cluster, obviously. And then this is the database. mycluster.windows. .gusto.windows.net is the sample. But this cluster is crazyname.z2.custo.fabric.microsoft.com. So that's just the that URL. So, okay, can I capture that URL out of my Custo place? Okay, so if I go to my Custo data set, yeah, I'll save. Southeast Asia, the query URI, is that it? Do you think? What does that give me? Hang on, I'll open Notepad. The query URI looks like this. That's it. That's the one. Okay. All right, kiddos, this is what you do. If you want to connect to your query, if you want to connect to your database, your Custo database from Power BI Desktop, you copy your query URI and then you go into Power BI Desktop and then you say, we'll go to Power Query, and you say new source, and you go here and you put in, I think you can just type Custo, right? Because it comes up in brackets. It does. You say Data Explorer, connect, and then here in your cluster, you put in that one. And then here in your database, it was new NYC taxi DB. Ah, that didn't work. NYC taxi DB. And then here's our query. Oh, and you got query limit records, result set truncation, what type of connectivity node, import a direct query. Okay, there you go. That was some straight up learning. Okay, I'm going to call time, but that was cool. We're going to do some real data. I don't know where I'm going to stream this data from. If I can set up some kind of temperature monitor that I can really do it, or set up something where I can waggle my phone around and change I don't know, I'll figure it out. That's what we'll do next week. We're going to stream real stuff because I love real-time data stuff. But that is very exciting. I like the process. I don't think there was anything there that caused my brain to explode too much. Custo's a little bit weird in its syntax, but what isn't weird in its syntax these days? Took me a while to get used to Power Query, that's for sure. But that's it. We did it. We're streaming real-time data. Look at that. The numbers are counting up as I speak. We've got 12,000 things in our database, and it's just going to keep on going. Now it's 13,000. Amazing. Look forward to next week. Have a good weekend. Feel free to hang around and talk about all the cool possibilities with me. But otherwise, we'll see you next week. It's good fun. Thanks very much, guys. Good to see you all, and yeah, have a good weekend. See you later.